Hi, I forgot to put this disclaimer in before the video started, so I'm just filming it now quickly. I am not an expert on the subject. I am just giving the information that I thought was valuable and what the things I wish I had in first year. So, and in second year as well. Anyway, so this is just my disclaimer. And yeah, enjoy. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about the life skills CAPS document and how to read it, how to go about it, how to navigate it so that it makes a little bit more sense to you. So let's get right into it. So as you open it, we have the foreword by the minister, which looks like this. It's just got a picture. Then we turn over to the next page. It has a bit of an index. This is specifically for grade R to grade 3. Okay, then the first thing we have is that what it's all about. There's an introduction. I would definitely try and read through that. It also has the general aims. So that you will find on page 4 in my CAPS document. I know when people print it, it looks a bit different, but it's page 4 in my CAPS document. So the general aims include the purpose of the CAPS document and the purpose of the lesson from grade R to grade 12. So that is the exception, obviously, is that we're talking all the way to grade 12 in the first few pages. Okay, so sorry, I just needed to tie my hair up, otherwise I was going to play with it the whole time. Okay, so then we have the time allocation on page 6. So under the time allocation, you will then have the subjects. This is in pretty much every CAPS document. As far as I know, these are the first few pages of every CAPS document. So we have the subject, we have home language for grade R is 10 hours. So you have this little table over here. Home language is 10 hours grade R, grade 1 and 2 is 8 to 7 hours, and so on and so forth. This is pretty easy to understand, this part of it. So seeing that we are talking about life skills, let's just go over the time allocations for life skills. So life skills itself in total is 6 hours, but that is divided into beginning knowledge, creative arts, physical education, and personal and social well-being. So those are obviously all different things. So beginning knowledge is 1 hour, creative arts 2 hours. This is per week. This is what they do per week. Physical education 2 hours and personal and social well-being 1 hour, and that will be a total between those language and mathematics. That will be a total of 23 hours. Okay, then you'll see, okay, so the top one over here is foundation phase. Then you have the intermediate phase and you have senior phase as well as grade 10, as well as grade 10 to grade 12. I'm sorry if I'm looking down a lot in this video. It's just about seeing what it is. So then on page 8, we have what is life skills, the specific aims in life skills. And then you have the definition of what is beginning knowledge and personal and social well-being, so that we know what that is all about. Highlight it for yourself. I'm sure if you have life skills as a subject, then you will have to learn this anyway. You have personal and social well-being, creative arts, physical education, and then we have teaching foundation phase. So in teaching foundation phase, you have the teacher should do, which is have a routine, structured and free play. So structured play and free play activities that are enjoyable and manageable. So that's very important to always remember when planning a lesson, is that it needs to be manageable. When I'm saying that, is you have to remember that you are working with at least 30 to 40 kids, because the reality in South Africa is, and no one is oblivious to this, is the ideal is to have like 28 kids in the class to 30 kids. But more often than not, even in the good schools, you will have up to 40 kids, 45 kids. I've heard of schools that have up to 52 kids in one classroom. So they need to be manageable, especially when it comes to structured play and creative arts, because you don't want to be painting and then it's totally unmanageable and you just have a whole bunch of kids painting each other at the end of the day. It needs to be a well-managed and child-friendly environment. So much as I said before, by management needing to be manageable for you as a teacher. I know there are a lot of schools that will provide an assistant for teachers who are in the foundation phase, but if you aren't, then you are alone. You are een man teen 50 kinders. So you are one child against like 50 kids. That's, or not even 50, that's really drastic. But like one child with 35, one teacher with 35 kids is a lot to manage. When I was doing practical, the teacher that I was doing practical with quickly had to go do something. It was an emergency or something. She went somewhere, and I was left alone for just 1 hour. I think it was 1 hour. It was probably only even 45 minutes. But it was hard work. Obviously, it's a learning curve, and that is going to be the reality one day of when I am alone in the classroom and being a qualified teacher and all of that. But it was a lot for me as a student, obviously in my first year and whatever. Okay, the next one is routine and activities. Routine is so important in the foundation phase. I find that a lot of kids thrive off of routine. Even me in my adult years, in my very beginning of my adult years, and even through my teenage years, I am very routine driven. And I feel like when you have routine, it gives the kids structure. And when they have structure, they know what the rules are. I don't know. Okay, this what comes to mind is when we had Civies Day. So a lot of the schools in South Africa, obviously majority of us always school uniform. But when it's Civies Day, the teachers always used to tell us it's like you lost all your manners because now you can wear normal clothes. But it's because the routine was thrown out. You're not in normal clothes. And I suppose half of what they were saying, or most of what they were saying is true, is that when your routine goes out the window, so does the manners that go with the routine. So, but part of the routine is your arrival, the greetings that you do. This all falls under life skills. The toilet routine in grade R, we have a toilet routine of you have certain times to take the kids to the toilet, so that obviously if they need to go during the day, you don't say no, unless all they do is go fool around in there. But they do have a toilet routine. It will be the birthday charts, it will be the date charts, the health charts, tidying and cleaning up after activities is all part of the routine. Okay, but that you can read more about on page 10 in the life skills document. Then we have free play activities indoors and outdoors, and then there is a lovely table over here that gives you a lot of examples. That's on page 11. Then you have structured activities where it gives you examples. It tells you exactly what it entails, which is hand-eye coordination, body image, laterality, dominance, form perception, spatial orientation. It's all those things. And then it gives you the definition, which I really like about the CAPS documents, and what I really appreciate about it is you are going to keep them in your classroom one day, so if you need like just a refresher, it is there. Then it has the life skill, the resources that you might need for life skills, which is paint brushes, sheets of paper, clay, beads, all sorts of things. It's got a whole list, and the list just goes on and on and on. Okay, then let's get to the good stuff. This is on page 15. On page 15, you'll see that I have highlighted over here. So basically what it says is beginning knowledge and personal and social well-being. So that is your theme lesson. Your theme lesson will come out of that. So on the very first page, you will have grade R. It will tell you term 1 grade R, so that you know these are the topics and these are the themes that you need to go through in term 1. So that will be your theme discussion. A theme discussion is, like I talked about when planning a lesson plan for life skills, is your board summary and your theme table and talking about the topic. So the first topic under term 1 grade R is the topic of me, which is personal details, the name, the age, the address, the contact number, your abilities, your interests, your strengths, your weaknesses. That's all the things that you'll talk about with the kids. And then it just goes on. It's really pretty self-explanatory. You'll see here, I have highlighted this. This was important for a test. But that's the topic is in bold, and then underneath it is bullet points that you need to go through. So it's like this for every single grade, but what I did want to give you a example of is vegetables, right? So if you're talking about the topic vegetables, underneath it says that there are different types of vegetables, that they have different tastes and textures, where do vegetables come from, and the colors and shapes of vegetables. These are all the things that you need to complete and talk about in and during the lesson. But just keep in mind that these themes normally carry over 2 weeks. Typically, that's what the lecturers have told us, that's what I've witnessed. I'm not an expert, so you need to complete all of that within 2 weeks. All of those bullet points underneath it needs to be completed in the 2 weeks that you have set out, or between you and your HOD and your team at school. That is what you decide. So if you decide on 1 week, all of that needs to be covered in 1 week. If you decide on 2 weeks, but you can split it up into smaller lessons. You are the teacher in the classroom. It's different when you're doing an assignment. It's different when you're doing it in practical. It's different when you're working with a different team. It all just depends. And then as you go on, so then you have, so we did personal and social well-being, then we get creative arts, which is the next one. That's on page 22. So if I can explain it like this on my little piece of board here, I know it's really small, but I just want to explain it. Every grade is going to work like this. So if you have your grade R, excuse my handwriting, and I'm sorry if you can't really see that well, but if you have grade R, the things that are going to fall under it is your, not creative arts first, is your personal and social well-being. Underneath that, which is not actually underneath it, let's do it as a whole new topic, right? So the whole new topic and things that you need to remember to allocate times to. So personal, if we look under the time allocations in the foundation phase for life skills, the beginning and social knowledge, you're going to allocate 1 hour to this one. Then you're going to draw a line. And then you have your creative arts, which is 2 hours of the week. So this is everything you're going to do in 1 week, right? That's besides language and mathematics. But don't worry, you have enough time. Like once you go do practical and stuff like that, it's all going to make a lot more sense. Then underneath that, you have your physical education, which is also 2 hours, and then you have your personal and social well-being. So, and that will fall under this as well because it falls under your topics, okay? So, and that is allocated 1 hour as well. So it's 2, 2, 2, which equals to 6 hours that you need to be spending. This is in grade R, everything is different. Then underneath, so if we wipe this all off, underneath your personal, underneath beginning knowledge and personal and social well-being, there will be term 1 to 4, and that is where you'll find all your topics, right? Then, if you look under, then you'll move on. Then under creative arts, there will be term 1 to term 4, and the things that you can do and things that they need to be able to do by the end of that term. Then, under physical education, the same thing applies. You will have things that you need to do in the term from term 1 to term 4, and then it gives you bullet points. So it's really, really nice. I really do appreciate the CAPS document. It makes life a lot easier. Then the way to reference it, I know that looks really ugly, but the way to reference it, just one last thing before we end the video for today. The way to reference it will be like this. So if your topic for grade R, term 1, is my body, right? So that's part of it, my body. This is how you will write it as a CAPS document, as a reference. Or this is how we write it. I'm not sure how your university wants it. So we'll write CAPS, life skills. We will then write term 1. Or you can put grade R here, and then comma, term 1. Then you'll put down the week. So if you look at it like this, term, you have to count in twos. So the first topic counts 2 weeks. So it will go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's week 10. In week 10, you need to be doing my body, and then you'll put it over here, and then you'll say the page number that we found it on is page 16. So that is how we caps reference. That is how that is the easiest way to reference. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was kind of helpful. Yeah, I'll clean that up now. But I hope that when you are doing all of this, that you can maybe come back to this video if you need to. And please feel free to always reach out and ask for help if needed. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!